cannot stop just grinning like a jackass. This is the most fun I have had in LCS in the last couple of years. I have missed this so much. The energy here in the LCS studio as they're chucking the swag out into the audience. They brought in a wagon full of stuff, and we're just throwing it out into the audience.
People love free stuff.
Everybody loves free stuff, and everybody loves Game 5. I am so glad that both teams brought it here today and have gone the distance in this series.
Yeah, the energy in here is electric. TL back on red side, game number 5. What will the adaptations be? I think is the question on everyone's mind. If I'm TL, if there's one pick maybe I'm more worried about than it was at the start of the series, it's gotta be the Leona. I feel like Vulcan has been such a difference maker for this team on the Leona, been the primary engage for them multiple games in a row. Do TL make a pivot to ban an additional support to leave something else up here? I'm so curious. Lee Sin, so it's gonna be the same couple of bans. We'll see if LeBlanc is gonna get banned out once again.
Well,
Bjergsen with a notebook. He's taking a page out of Lemon Nation's book.
Wait, maybe this is the notebook from back when Bjergsen was coach. Coach Bjergsen and player Bjergsen are the same Bjergsen.
He's like, all right, Bjergsen, we're going to pick you for some priority here.
Oh, yeah. All right, Bjergsen, what are we going to do, Bjergsen? All right, the one ban left to go. There are 2 bans already targeting Bjergsen here from Evil Geniuses. But still so much good on the table, and they are quick to lock in the Ryze.
I like the Ahri pivot, because also both times the TL were on red, they had Ahri, and they won both those games. The Ahri really did give them a lot of safety, but more importantly, it gave him a lot of playmaking, because it allowed him to be proactive, to find angles for himself. Yep. I think that was a key thing with this pick for them in the regular season as well, is that Bjergsen didn't have to be the follow-up. He could just start something, right? Like he could find that angle, find that charm. So that is going to be banned out. Nautilus is available though. Will TL continue to do that trade, or will they try to take the Leona side of it, because Vulcan has been so good on the Leona? Jinx has the early pick, late game for Hansama. What will the next pick be? It will be Viego. So back to some of the earlier picks that we had seen with the Viego, with the Jinx. We know now that this can be flexed around. Impact could play it, JoJo could play it. That's got to be in the back of TL's mind, that little concern of where are things going to go. You have to pay more respect to the potential of flex now as well.
And that's one of those things, like I was talking about how last game strategy, no, you can't do that every game of a series. People are going to be expecting it now, but the flex power definitely is something that's got to be considered for every game after that. Aphelios locked in for Danny. If there was ever a time to lock in that champion after you just had a pop-off game on the Ezreal, I love the fact that they're letting him have this hyper carry potential here in game number 5, because he showed us he deserves that shot in game number 4.
Absolutely. I mean, EG may just be going for 5v5 scaling as well, right? You know, they could build very easily towards that. Ryze, obviously a little bit more of a side lane champ, but will TL match roles here? You know, will they try to go towards a support or mid, or are they going to go a little bit of a different direction? This is a throwback to, I believe, the first game. Tahm Kench support coming in for a core to be able to protect that Jinx. It worked out very well for them in that game number 1. They're completely dominating. It was that Hail of Blades Ignite Tahm Kench, if you can remember all of those hours ago. So TL kind of throwing back towards that, but EG now have the potential to throw even more bans towards Bjergsen if they want. Of course, they are going to be the recipient of more jungle bans, as they have been, you know, kind of pushed down the tier list quite a lot here. Diana going to get banned out. Will they ban out the something like the Xin, or are they going to go towards, you know, even a Graves as potential banning that away from Impact and or Inspired? Will be interesting to see if TL kind of changes how they are seeing this jungle tier list.
Remember that the last time that Inspired had both Lee Sin and Diana banned away from him, he went to the Nocturne. And despite a good early game, it did not work out.
No.
So I'm curious how EG is going to adapt, what they're going to pick for him in the second half here.
And I actually really like the Ornn ban in this case, because TL doesn't really have any primary engage. Yeah, theoretically, Tahm Kench can dive in, but it's yeah, and you Q-max first, your range is so low on it, it's very delayed, it's not that threatening, so I do think that they're going to want some sort of primary engage, and now it's going to have to come, you know, from top or mid, you know, and generally speaking, none of the mid laners in the meta are primary engage, so that kind of puts the onus on Bwipo to be that. With the Ornn banned out, will TL have another top lane pick that can be that facilitator, that can be that primary engage, Or are they just going to kind of give it up and say, all right, well, we're not going to play with that. We're going to play more of a low engage style, go back to something like the GP 5th. Will be interesting to see which pick they want to show here. I'm expecting it to be mid. Maybe something just scaling like the Orianna even.
Right.
But with Victor banned out, with a lot of the picks that he's been showing banned out, Veigar would be interesting.
Oh,
would match
you want to talk about
scaling.
scaling? Yeah.
And also really, really strong, having that cage against mid-range champions like the Ryze can be very, very difficult for Ryze to actually deal with this.
Right.
And especially if you're going to go Predator. The ganks are actually pretty powerful. You call in Viego, you just Predator up, you put the cage around him. Basically, Ryze has the flash where he dies, right?
Yeah.
It can be very difficult to actually answer this. So now expected jungle pick here. But of course, they are going to be going, both top and jungle. It's blind. Will it be the Renekton? Looks like it's going to be locked.
Am I allowed to say I hate this?
You are.
I hate this. It's, he's fallen so far from grace. The pick himself, Renekton, this champion does not inspire faith in me.
Well, maybe the 75% win rate on the pick for Impact this split would inspire a little bit more faith. 3-1 on the pick.
Oh, baby, it's Nidalee for Inspired.
Nidalee, return from the dead. We have not seen this pick in so long. This is the throwback, and now I like the Renekton a lot more because you've got to be pretty careful. Tank makes so much sense in this situation. If you go carry into Nidalee plus Renekton, you are asking to die. This is a lot of pressure onto Inspired. I just feel like Nidalee must create action for her team early on because the baseline that Viego is going to bring to these team fights is so much higher than what Nidalee really can bring. You've got to play with tempo. You've got to be taking away enemy camps, putting on pressure, but he has set up in 3 lanes. Point and click, CC, all around the board. Leona stun, Renekton stun, room prison. You can set up for those spears. So EG have drafted something that I think is pretty tough to execute for Inspired, but they've given them the tools to be able to pull it off. And if they can, it could look really, really good for them. But you look on TL's side, this is like ultimate front to back 5v5 safety with Tahm Kench, massive front line with the Sion, scaling as much as you could ever want with Veigar and Jinx.
Infinite stacking for Veigar, infinite stacking for Sion, main character of Arcane for Jinx. These guys are going the distance if this game goes long. And for Evil Geniuses, they put all their chips on the Inspired Nidalee. The chants back and forth, the fandoms battling as the players are about to begin their final confrontation here today. The best of 5 going the full distance. Evil Geniuses or Team Liquid, only one can win. And man, the compositions for this one are gonna be fun.
Yeah, this is gonna be really, really interesting. And already seeing Ruby Crystal start here from Bwipo. I'm not going to say we're going to see it for sure or anything, but a lot of times when people don't do D-Shield start, they look for some cheeky plays. You can even do execute plays to enemy buff and try to steal the one away. That is extremely high risk, so I doubt we will see it, but just interesting to see that adaptation, going for the extra potion, plus the Ruby Crystal start, just trying to rush towards maximum HP, look to survive. Sion does have a very good leash with the charged up Q here for Santorin. Nidalee going to be starting on bot side, clearing up towards top as expected. You've got to be clearing towards Renekton, see what you can do. So a lot of it is going to be about the setup there for Impact. Can he really have that wave in a perfect spot to try to pull off some sort of a gank? Can they actually deny XP from Bwipo and then have Ryze move top and pull off a 3-man dive? Like, you need to do this kind of stuff to really put Sion into the dirt. Because Sion is a champion that just doesn't need a lot of gold to be functional, right?
No,
like,
he gets so much just from the Soul Furnace passive, stacking up all that health.
Yep.
Very scary very quickly.
It is absolutely, but nice ward there from TL actually on Tribrush. It's kind of being blocked by Renekton, so they have eyes on Impact. So going to see that he's going around. We'll have full info on Santorin's clear, of course.
And those clears are mirrored too. Both of our junglers starting off on the red, not skipping their Krug camps, going for the full clears, and they'll end up on opposite sides of the map as we already get some violence in the 2v2 here bottom. Auto attacks being traded back and forth by all 4 players.
Worth noting, it is not Hail of Blades, it is Guardian, so more standard here for core, more defensive setup. against the Aphelios and this Leona, so not feeling like they can really exploit that. You know, I think that was kind of a Yuumi adaptation.
Yeah, exactly.
That it's like Yuumi can't really scrap in the same way. Obviously, when you are attached, you are not able to get all those auto attacks out, so it can be a lot of value. We'll see how Bjergsen can hold on in this mid lane, as JoJo will have the push early for sure. Veigar needs some time, needs some levels before he can really start stacking up that AP effectively, getting enough damage to actually be able to kind of compete against the push. But this is what they got to do, right? You got to push through multiple lanes, you got to move around the map, and you've got to threaten this top lane dive. So he's going to try to slow stack this wave. He's only going to be last hitting. He's not shoving because he probably wants to threaten a potential dive. I'm not sure that they're actually going to have the right timing to do this unless Inspired rushes right up here. Because this might be moving a little bit too fast, but we'll see if he has the timing. If the next wave comes in, they could try to dive on this next wave with it fully stacked. Bwipo, though, Dematerializer, very interesting. So he took down the cannon, so it will slow this a little bit. And it's going to be a 6-game clear for Inspired, but very low on health. We'll see if he wants to actually smite Scuttle, then move top, or what the answer is going to be, because these stacked waves are always really scary as a tank.
Well, he'll just kill the Gromp normally, so he gets the heal from that, but still keep the smite ready to go. Team Liquid, they got Santorin down here.
So they're gonna go.
Vulcan standing on top of the chopper is gonna be chain CC'd, but it's 1-for-1 as Santorin can't escape the turret.
But critically, Jinx gets the kill and Leona gets the return kill. So first blood onto Jinx with an already pretty big CS advantage. Danny and Vulcan were struggling in that bot lane. All 3 pots are gone off Danny. He's down 13 CS, and now your opponent got that first blood. Hansam is going to be massively ahead. Yes, this will put Santorin down in the 1v1 because Inspired has just been power farming and could even potentially try to invade towards the blue. Like, they saw there's no blue on Santorin, so he is going to move up here. We'll see if they can actually get this pressure down. Vulcan on the roam as well.
Okay, Santorin recognizes these guys are after him. He wants to get away from this. Vulcan showing up is the lockdown that Inspired would need to guarantee that kill.
Jinx is coming too.
All right.
Gets hard.
Yeah, this is, obviously a level 3, you don't have the ability to just burn down that blue buff and get away with it. So Team Liquid can get there in time. They can reinforce Santorin's position, make sure that doesn't get stolen away. I like the attempt from EG, but Team Liquid had the answer.
Yep. At the very least, they do get double scuttle, so that's something nice for them. Bjergsen, early tier. You can say he's paying some respect over to the Nidalee plus Ryze combo as well. Early Null Magic Mantle is very smart. That lane ward is big for Bwipo, spots him, but they may just try to dive this in his face anyway. Yeah, they're positioning to try to go for it. We'll see if they can actually get it.
Okay, JoJo's gonna tank up the turret here first.
Oh, they messed it up.
Nope.
Impact needed to tank, I'm pretty sure. I think that was a bit of a miscommunication. They're waiting for Inspired now, but they're gonna get him.
Nicely done there. Evil Geniuses, the solo laners coming together to take Bwipo out.
Yep, nicely done. Bwipo had not been back to base whatsoever, so he was just on that Ruby Crystal, right? So he is gonna go down. Hasn't spent his TP though. So yes, he dies, but he will be able to TP back, get this experience, and he's about to be 6. So even if you kill him again, as long as you get to 6 before dying again, you're kind of in that spot where
just
it's like
ult back.
Exactly, you just ult back. It's like a pseudo TP. You use your passive to collect the farm. So Bwipo is chilling, but that was a needed kill for EG, and they do get it.
So the question that I want to pose to you here, Mr. Azael, is yes, EG has a slight lead here early on in the game, but with Renekton and Nidalee, these are not champions that scale well. As a matter of fact, I would go so far as to say they fall off a cliff. How far ahead does Evil Geniuses need to be? How good does this early game have to look for them to feel confident heading into the later stages?
I mean, I think it's a bit of a tough question to answer because they do have some scaling of their own with the Aphelios, with Ryze. They can play through sides. They can look to try to use that and flanking later. But I would say you want to be at least a couple neutral objectives up or a couple thousand gold up when you're hitting around 15-20 minutes.
All right, that's what we're going to keep our eyes on then at those checkpoints. EG shoving up the wave here in bottom. Vulcan's going to take the chance to start his recall nice and early. Is CoreJJ going to see him? Nope, he gets back in time. So now Danny's got to back all the way away because CoreJJ will not let him recall effectively.
Absolutely not. But Danny hasn't been able to find a time to base. He's actually just, not had the tempo to do so because they've been perma pushed in. He hasn't wanted to give up the wave. I'd be a little bit surprised if he actually completes that base there. But given that his jungler's top, maybe he's nervous. So yeah, he's going to hold on. You would lose a full wave if you went back. He hasn't had a buy yet though, so it is a little bit rough. Going to invade towards top side, take away this red buff. I mean, TL are for sure heavily favored in front to back. 5v5, like massively favored with the Sion and Veigar and all the scaling. But EG do have ways to play through sides, which makes it a little bit more exciting, I think, in the later stages because it's not just a guaranteed loss. because they have other ways to play. And if you can take early objectives, you buy yourself more time to split push, which is kind of a critical thing, right? If you're giving over those early dragons to TL, well, TL can force you to 5v5, but if they could pick up the first couple, I think they could be in a decent spot.
Well, Bwipo has to flash away as the spear flies towards him. If that spear connects, then Impact and Flash Stun on top, you can be in a lot of trouble. So Bwipo's just going to play very defensively there. Flash out nice and early, not take the damage, keep himself in a good enough state to stay in the lane. Team Liquid invading the enemy jungle. Santorin did lose his red to Inspired. He's looking to steal one back, but EG's ready to answer. Vulcan, flash Q follow. jojopyun wants to go in. Nice use of the chompers right where he makes his entrance, and Jojo eats a lot of damage. Vulcan at 300 HP. Santorin's at 200, but he's ready for the reset. Team Liquid take that fight.
Bjergsen has ulti, he's gonna go for it.
Oh, Bjergsen picks up another one.
Flashing in with the Predator ulti there, gets the kill. This is huge for TL, out to a 1K gold lead. They're gonna get plates as well for Hansama. Things looking so good for them. Jojo has been moving around the map, but he's down 20 CS off the back of that. Bot lane, down a good 15 CS. They're gonna lose the first dragon as well. It's a disaster in the early game for EG.
Feels very, very good for Team Liquid on that one. Let's take another look at how it started, because EG were going in looking for the punish.
Yep, EG trying to find a big play here. The flash follow to come through. The Realm Warp comes in, but the chompers are placed perfectly, rooting him up immediately into the unburrow there from CoreJJ, knocking up jojopyun, pushing him out. Danny does arrive, but Bjergsen coming across was huge, and when you get that first kill in the fight, Santorin gets that, they get the reset, and there's no shot you're winning the fight from there. And then Bjergsen with the Predator flashes in. Q doesn't connect, but it doesn't even matter. The execute damage on the ulti. Oh, the Q did connect, actually. It looked like it just tagged him on the very edge. I thought I had missed in live, but well played there by Bjergsen. Early Predator, goes for the early Merc Treads here. Going to be high value against this team with a lot of point-and-click CC.
Very well done to turn that around from Team Liquid. Santorin just holding on with a little bit of HP, but the invulnerability you get when you possess the body, yeah, it's only like a fraction of a second, but that's an eternity in some of these close skirmishes in a game of League of Legends.
Absolutely, and you get the heal when you possess as well. You know, it is just so powerful. Really, any early game skirmish, it feels like as Viego, if you get one reset, it just feels like you win.
Yep.
Anything that's remotely close is no longer close because you get an entire extra rotation of those spells. And early game, that's actually such a big deal because the cooldowns are very long. The abilities, you know, have some wait time in between them.
Yeah.
You know, being able to grab that Leona, have another rotation of spells means that EG just had to retreat fully. And they're trying to keep the pressure up here, but with the kills and the assists, Santorin's not going to be too much behind Santorin. You know, he's not going to be too much behind Inspired. He is down in XP, of course, but
just now hit level 7. Yeah, Inspired just barely passed that start point there into level 8. But the thing is, it's Nidalee into Viego. Nidalee 0-0-0 at 10 minutes into the game. You do not draft this champion for an inactive early game. We've got to see Inspired start participating in these fights.
And it's 100 gold lead. Like, who cares? You know, it's nothing for the Nidalee over the Viego because of the kills, because of the assists, so you have the experience to your name, but Danny's getting put down so much, and that is the real biggest problem here for EG as TL grouping up here, looking to punish.
TL thinking about the dive, EG thinking about the counter punch. Support for support, 1-for-1. Hansama gets tagged with a spear, but Inspired already used the flash, so he can't catch up with the distance in time. Flash out from Hans to avoid a follow-up, and it'll stay 1-for-1.
1-for-1. Critically, they do protect Danny from losing even more there. It is the TP as well off Jojo, though. TL being proactive, Impact on the top side, just trying to knock down this Herald. They know they need that early injection of gold, prioritizing these Heralds, trying to get something rolling for themselves. But it's another kill over to Viego, who's now going to be actually up in gold at this point. And it is very concerning when you're comparing the itemization from the bot lane. The early Kraken Slayer is already done. Now Jojo, no flash, you're dead.
Jojo, gobble, 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 gobble. CoreJJ just spits him out underneath the turret. They give the kill over to whoever wants it, and Hans is ready to pick it up.
Yeah, Hans already has his mythic, already has his tier 2 boots, just got another kill on top. And he's up a lot of farm already after a lot of early game pressure was put down there. Santorin down multiple times towards bot lane. You know, the level 3 dive that they actually pull off onto Vulcan, where Hansama got first blood. Danny has been pressured very heavily ever since then. TL farming plates, 2K gold lead. We're at 12 minutes That is enormous for them. It's nearly 1K up for Bjergsen. It's much more than that, actually, for Hansama. That's about a 1,500 gold lead individually.
Yeah.
Like, that is more than the total sum of their gold lead, and it's exactly where they need it for TL.
Impact, just barely gets away from that dive out of CoreJJ. Bjergsen here on the Veigar as well, 1-0-1. That Predator, that playmaking that you were telling us about there back in Champion Select is going to continue to be a thorn in the side of Evil Geniuses as we move forward. 12.5 minutes into the game, 90 seconds remain on turret plates. A 2,000 gold deficit for the Renekton Nidalee composition is incredibly concerning for EG.
Yeah, I mean, EG have got to do something, and pretty fast, I think, to really kind of flip this game around. They don't even have a soul win condition. TL got the first dragon there, so EG gonna have to find some sort of pick, find some sort of, X factor to really get this game going back in their way. Because TL don't have to do anything except farm. They just have to chill, but they've done so much more than that. They've created a big advantage with a comp that heavily outscales in the 5v5 while still getting dragons.
This is a good-looking game for Team Liquid, but Evil Geniuses are looking at that second dragon themselves. It was Hextech first, it's Ocean here second. Santorin throws out that mist going around the corner there, just making EG think twice about where they walk. But TL's grouped up as 4 down here. Rift Herald gonna be summoned up in the bottom lane.
Flash.
They go in on CoreJJ, throwing down the solar flare towards Santorin and Hansama. Core getting himself away. Nice defensive Veigar cage there to stop the pursuit of EG. But JoJo's ready for the flash follow. CoreJJ's got the thick skin. Vulcan's got no way out. EG went too far. Stolen Leona Zenith Blade. Again, Santorin is playing their champ better than they are. Team Liquid will slaughter Evil Geniuses.
8-3, 3,600 gold in their advantage, and another dragon here. Liquid are cruising in game number 5. As EG were feeling the pressure there, they try to force so heavily, but Core has so much tenacity here. Not able to lock him down nearly long enough. He has unflinching. He has Merc Treads already. The stuns just don't last nearly as long. The tower gonna go down as well. I mean, these gold advantages are just getting completely out of control. 2,300 gold up is Hansama. Like, that alone is such a problem. So they see Core go in, but look how short these stuns are. They just don't really do anything.
Yeah.
Unflinching plus Merc Treads this early on, you don't have the damage to actually burst them down. Inspired doesn't feel comfortable to go in. The cage is buying so much time. Vulcan flashes over the cage to land the stun. JoJo flashes in as well. Like, they're fully committing. But even if you kill him, you're gonna lose the fight because it's just CoreJJ. And there's an incredibly fed Jinx that's getting ignored. Then Santorin taking over the bodies, landing the combo from Leona gets them 1, landing the combo with the Renekton gets them 2. Danny falling as well. TL, it's gonna be a miracle for EG to get back into this game because TL are just running away with it. It looks like this game is theirs to lose.
EG brings Vulcan up top, but that is a level 11 Sion with 2,201 health.
Yeah.
He is not going to be an easy dive target. Santorin and CoreJJ both hanging around nearby just in case EG tries.
I mean, he even got a plate. Like, he's down 400 gold. It's nothing, right? They have nothing working for them at all. They're not even really ahead in experience anymore very much as far as the jungle matchup.
Hans is up 2,300 over Danny.
Yeah, it's just insane. Bwipo, sure, you put him down a little bit, but it's way more concerning that your Aphelios is down that low in gold than it is for the Sion, right? Bwipo just needs to not be getting pounded, and he is absolutely comfortable in his position in this game. The objective bounties are now active, so that is kind of a hope for EG. But TL, just keep grouping, showing up at dragons every single time they spawn in 9 minutes.
Okay, here comes the collapse. Nope, never mind.
They get the flash, so they get that off Bjergsen, but TL, really all they have to do is just show up for dragons, right? It's 8 minutes on spawn, so, kind of giving them some time to kill it. Like, in 9 minutes, they could have soul. And when you're looking at an early game focused comp, and you give Mountain Soul over, you start to even lose hope that you can find burst kills.
Well, here comes a burst kill. Santorin's found inspired, and the Nidalee has to retreat as fast as possible. Super Mega Death Rocket takes him even lower. Team Liquid not quite being able to catch up and finish the kill, but they chase the EG jungler away.
Yeah, but it's just a trade of flashes there. Impact trying to get aggressive here on Bwipo. But if you use that stun early, you don't have the empowered stun to actually break the shield. He can actually just
Bwipo's just whooping him.
He's got no ult. He can flash ult. He can flash ult and passes if he wants to. Oh my
God, he didn't even need need to. Somebody call LS. What does LS think right now? I gotta know. Because this Renekton has not worked out in game number 5.
No, I mean, there's a lot more problems than the Renekton, though, for EG. They got destroyed on the bottom side. And Nidalee Renekton not getting nearly enough value. Bwipo did die once, but he gets the tower, he gets a solo kill. And to me, that's just them pushing way too hard, trying to get something back. Impact was going for that fight without even having ulti, as Bwipo should just be able to walk it out. I mean, he has his ulti, he's chilling.
He doesn't care, dude. He's like, all right, Nidalee, go away.
But that to me is just like, Impact is like, we have lost this game unless I make something happen. And you overforce, and you look a little bit silly doing it, right? Because it's such a low percentage play. I don't think he thinks he's gonna get that solo kill without ulti, but
no, now Evil Geniuses are, man, it's going from bad to worse. Vulcan's about to give another one over. Gets away thanks to the Blast Cone. Super Mega Death Rocket only gonna hit Impact, so Vulcan's still alive. Nope! How many licks to the center of a Vulcan pop? Answers 1. CoreJJ gets some 2, 1, and 6 here on the Kench.
yeah, Bwipo down to that bot side now looking for Jojo. Fancies himself another fight, but Jojo will just walk away with the phase rush potentially. No, excuse me, his Spellbook. Back over to Herald though. TL gonna grab another objective, and mid lane is low enough health that they could actually crack that last tier 1 with that. 40 seconds here until drag. No shot that EG really has the tools to fight for it, so it's you're hoping to get gold through sides, you're hoping to make something happen. It's just a tough situation. You know, Bwipo is so tanky at this point in the game. When you use the early stun, you don't have the empowered stun to actually break through the shield, so the stun expires, pops the shield immediately, and just the base damages from Sion, plus the return damage there from the Bramble. Is it the cannon that kills him, or what actually kills him?
I think he's still burning to the Immolate, the DOT from Sunfire
yeah,
Aegis.
he is. He died to the Sunfire Aegis there. Nicely played by Bwipo. Yeah, Bwipo really does. Every time something happens around Bwipo, just go full screen on the player cam.
If y'all are ever having a bad day, just watch Bwipo react to top lane 1v1.
Bwipo reacting to things. That'd be a good TV show. I'd watch that.
I could watch that all day. Always entertaining. And Team Liquid, 6,000 gold up, soul point at 19 minutes. Short of somebody unplugging their computers, I don't know how Team Liquid loses this one.
Yep.
They have had an incredible performance here in Game 5.
Yeah, they've just been absolutely dominant. Game 1, Game 5 were all TL all the time. The middle of this series, very competitive. EG trying to make something happen, but when you're fishing for Kench, it's just not going to work, man.
They didn't bring the right bait. I don't know. Kench ain't biting today unless he's biting your head off. 2, 1, and 6 still here for the support on Team Liquid. Rift Herald summoned up. They'll take the tier 2 turret here in mid, expand that gold lead. Some of it's going to come back their way as Impact claims the tier 1 turret in the top lane, but it is the first turret claimed by EG the whole game, and Team Liquid is marching into the enemy base. You don't normally see these turrets break until Baron, but it's already gone. Santorin's under a little bit of pressure, but CoreJJ gets him away to safety. Vulcan's gonna be killed first. 1-for-1 trade as Bjergsen dies. Impact chasing TL away, but Bwipo's joined the fight now. They're ready to put the damage right back onto the enemy mid laner. Impact trying to disengage as CoreJJ finds Danny here with a thick skin, able to keep him alive. Impact finally takes him out as Bwipo continues the push. Danny's gonna die there to the giant Sion. Inspired's ready to rejoin. Bwipo's left to likely die. He will. Won't get anything back with a dead body. Evil Geniuses at least hold on. It'll be 2 for 2. 2 for 3, excuse me. Bwipo's dead body still rampaging.
Yeah, they get a couple kills there, but not gonna mean that much in the big picture here, as they're just barely holding on. They pull the trigger on this TP flank. I mean, this Herald, this push, they got mid lane tier 1, tier 2. They almost got the tier 3 as well. So Renekton goes for the base, buys up. They look for the TP play. The Veigar cage is so effective in these situations, trying to zone them off of their own tower. Vulcan goes forward, but he just gets burst out almost immediately. Hans in the backline is stunned up, and a good bit of damage comes through there from Impact, but no one can get back to actually finish him off. They needed Inspired or someone to get back there, but Inspired had no flash critically, and even though he connects on that spear, not able to close the gap to get in onto Hans Sama. So yes, Danny does fall. They return the kill back onto Bwipo, but it's feeling like too little too late here for EG, as there's only a couple minutes until this next dragon, and it feels like that has to be the last stand. But you've been so outscaled. Bjergsen here is likely going to have death cap prior to that fight, you have to assume. As Bjergsen's already at 400 AP, he's got 207 from his passive. So when
5 blasting wands for free.
Yep, you cash in big time when you get the death cap because you multiply all the passive AP plus the AP that you've already purchased. So assuming he can get that extra 800 or so gold he needs in the next 2 minutes, which I assume he can.
I think he'll be just fine.
Yeah, then it's going to be really, really tough. Hans is already on 3. Like, you compare the AD carry itemization, and it gets pretty grim here, you know, for EG. IE's already done. It's just rough.
And now Team Liquid's going to continue their pushing. They are not going to wait around. They are not going to say, all right, let's just play for the Drake fight. They're going to get everything they can until then. That is their 7th turret taken this game. All tier 1s, all tier 2s, and the mid lane tier 3 are off the board. And JoJo will only now acquire the 2nd turret of the game for EG.
Get a bounty, something nice for them. But TL, you know, came into this year building this roster for championship success, right? They want to get back to their winning ways, taking down titles left, right, and center, you know, bringing back Bjergsen to play with CoreJJ, one of the only players he wanted to come back and play with, bringing in Bwipo, bringing in Hansama. They all do seem to be really working very well. It's a cohesive unit. And coming into playoffs, they were the heavy favorites after Cloud9 had dropped some games, you know, down to the later weeks. It was about TL. People are looking at them as a big favorite. But we have seen through these first 2 LCS playoff games, much more than just C9 and TL can compete.
Yeah.
EG pushing TL to 5, 100 Thieves obviously stomping Cloud9.
Oh,
we
yeah.
know there are a lot of teams that they're going to have to watch out for. And it's been really exciting to watch this TL roster coming together. We'll see if they can close this one out and move on for that matchup against 100 Thieves, which I think is going to be a lot harder to predict than people would have expected.
Well, Team Liquid has 25 seconds until that Drake appears, until that soul spawns. Bwipo's going in. He's in the middle of everybody, but he don't even care. Leona ulti comes down. Team Liquid waiting for their moment. Bwipo has to flash away. Evil geniuses. They almost kill him, but almost is not enough. He has his teleport to be able to rejoin the fight, but he needs to be able to recall. Inspired with a spear onto Hans, tries to get a little bit more.
The recall.
Rocket Belt stops recall. That's going to be important. Means Bwipo cannot heal and return to the battle yet. EG may have just stopped Soul.
But TL are going to Baron. They're actually going to try to force them off of this. Will EG leave one person on Dragon? No. EG even pulls off. They're going to go 5-man back towards Baron here. If you could get a kill at Baron, you know, ace TL, take Baron, maybe that's a way back in, but it's going to be so hard to find it. TL turning.
I love the call from TL. Make EG come to them again. If at first you don't succeed, run it right on back. Impact tries to get away. However, another good cage from Bjergsen just makes these fights impossible to navigate for the geniuses.
Really smart stuff there from TL, forcing EG off the Dragon. And now the Dragon could be there. So we'll see if they actually feel like they have the health to do it. They're going back into the pit. I mean, I think he blast-coned in. I saw the little animation. Yeah, they were just right back onto the Baron. Inspired is coming over here, so they are leaving a couple people to take down the Dragon on the other side, but I don't think Inspired can get in. This is just gone, and TL gonna grab the Baron here for themselves.
No way. Oh, okay. Oh, that was way too close.
If that's Soul, that's an FF.
I was gonna say, yeah, I was about to say, if that steals it, /FF. I know you're not supposed to do it in pro games, but every rule has its exceptions. Yeah, there's sometimes, man, sometimes. Team Liquid misses out on the Mountain Soul, but it's A-okay when you can trade it away for a Baron. Considering the enemy base is already broken open there in the mid lane, Team Liquid, if they want a death ball down mid and say, all right, come stop us, it's totally within the realm of reality to do that for them.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be pushing out sides. It looks like they want to play 1-4, you know, move between mid and bot, you know, control the enemy jungle here, deny vision. You can see Vulcan's trying to fight for some wards to try to keep eyes on TL's movements. Bwipo, though, going to be pushing this out. Nothing that Impact can really get done there, as Bwipo even going towards Titanic Hydra, so he's actually going a more aggressive build. You know, this is a build where you get so much bonus HP. The splash off Titanic is actually really, really powerful for Sion. It's one of those things that really sometimes people underestimate your damage, and it can be quite surprising.
And Bwipo is not afraid to jump into the middle and just make sure he's damaging everybody.
So
he doesn't care if he dies.
This is the last fight for EG. They're going to go for a flank here from Impact, but if TL spot him, they still haven't seen him. So he actually could get into the pixel brush and then surprise them potentially. This is their last chance. Can they get it?
There it is! Vulcan's decided to go in, and Impact's coming around from behind. Vulcan's gonna be taken low. Impact finally makes his way into the melee, and Impact kills Bjergsen. Evil Geniuses have already lost their bottom lane, but they've killed multiple players from Team Liquid. Santorin tries to get away. Can he get the reset? Not quite. Inspired's taken low, but he won't die. Bwipo can't get
Zombie.
him. Inspired's hopping away. Triple kill back over to Impact. EG holds on.
Impact with the deep flank. They're avoiding vision was so intelligent. Really, really well played. The engage comes through from EG. They're just not getting the kills where they need them, though. They need Danny to be relevant here. He's so far behind Hansama, who's closer to 4 items than Danny is to 3. But it's a big play here. Impact backing off and just played so intelligently around vision, kind of anticipating where it would be. He waits and he waits and he waits, and then he's anticipating that the ward, actually he saw it get placed, in that brush there. So he just hugs the very bottom, waiting for the minions to go past. You can see where the minions are based on the mirroring on the minimap. So he knows that it's a safe path, hugs the bottom the whole way through. They have no idea that he's there, and then surprise, in comes Impact into the middle of the team. Multi-man Q, multi-man Gore Drinker. The Devourer was there from Core on Hans, but everyone from EG is on top of you. There's no escape. Hans goes down. They pick up a lot of bounties, so they do get some much-needed gold for their team, but none of it is on Danny, and he is really hurting in this game.
Evil Geniuses somehow hold on with that awesome play from Impact. It's still a very tall order to come out of this game with a win. But honestly, it was a tall order to survive that push from Team Liquid.
Absolutely. I mean, they're getting a little bit of hope off of that. If TL wins that fight, the game ends, the Nexus explodes. If EG win that fight, they get another chance to try to pull off another miracle. And that's what it's really going to take, is multiple 1-fights in a row. Can Impact find that sort of an angle again? It'll be really tough to do it, because it's going to be about this dragon fight here. 130, they can force your hand once again, take the 5v5.
And the important thing is, Impact didn't have to use his teleport to get that flank. Normally those type of flanks only come from a teleport ward, right?
Yeah.
That proper setup. But Impact at least has that to try to work a miracle here again.
But here's the problem. Where's the furthest deep ward? It's here. That's it. They have these wards. Those are not TP flanking wards. They have no vision on the map because they are being constantly pinned in by TL, who has done such a good job, of having multiple sweepers. You look at all the pinks in inventory right now. They're holding on to 4. They already have multiple in the enemy jungle. They are trying to eliminate any sort of opportunity for Impact to flank, because he does need to flank. You cannot walk straight through the Sion and have a successful team fight here on the EG side.
Evil Geniuses, they've got 35 seconds until the Soul Drake spawns again. Hansama with a Bloodthirster as item number 4, just needing to stay alive. Drain tank out any sort of damage that might find its way onto him.
Yeah.
Danny still without his Infinity Edge.
I mean, you've got to kill Hans or you have no shot. He has got to be one of the first people to die early on in this fight, or the DPS will simply be too high for EG to really sustain. They're losing mid prio here. It isn't open and hip mid, so they can kind of just push this up and let the minions do their work, put that pressure on. It's looking like it's front to back, and that bodes well for TL. Impact and Inspired trying to come from the side.
Oh, JoJo's already been caught out here a little bit. Hansama takes a little bit of damage, but Inspired has to go into the stasis nice and early. Team Liquid continuing to move forward. Bwipo finds a knock-up 1-2, and Santorin's ready to go in for his first reset. Danny's first to die. Impact tries to find Hansama, but try as he might, Team Liquid will crush Evil Geniuses.
TL have done it. The TPs are coming in. They're looking for the end, pushing for their matchup with 100 Thieves.
Team Liquid got pushed to 5 games by EG. Game number 4 was absolute chaos against the marksman comp, but in game number 5, TL reigns supreme. They'll get the ace. The last kill goes over to Bjergsen. Danny respawns in a moment, but a moment is a bit too long. Nexus turret's gone. Team Liquid takes the win and moves on in the winner's bracket.
What an incredible series we were treated to today. TL do clinch it, but EG pushed them to the brink. So much more competitive than people had thought coming into it. TL, though, showing their class in the final game here, drafting for the late game 5v5, withstanding the early push, withstanding the early pressure from this Renekton Nidalee. They got what they needed to get done. Onsama created massive advantages with the pressure that Santorin was bringing down there, with the pressure that Bjergsen was bringing down there. Their cross-map play was so good. Rightfully taking their bow. Very well-played series here from TL.
They drafted all that scaling. Just at the end of Champion Select, you knew there was a clock ticking down against evil geniuses. And Team Liquid, they had that thing wound up and ready to go. The Onsama Jinx damage, so overwhelming. And I do have to give credit to EG, fighting back in that bottom lane fight. The flank from Impact, surviving when you're down that much gold against a comp that scales that much better. That in its own right was impressive and says a lot to me about their communication, their macro play, their planning, their teamwork. But unfortunately, one moment, as you mentioned, is not enough to turn the game. You'd have to do it multiple times, and TL's not the team to give you multiple openings.
Absolutely, and if there's anything to look at, I think EG are going to look back to game number 1, where they drafted no engage, they got absolutely ran over. TL just completely blasted them in game number 1, and from there, they prioritized engage in every single game, and the games became much more competitive. EG showed that they can compete with some of these top teams, but can't get that game number 1 back. Red side ends with a 100% win rate in the series. EG, though, showing that they can compete, and I think that the lower bracket is going to have to watch out for this team because they're much more competitive than expected. And now, I mean, the playoff bracket becomes so interesting. You know, EG showing a really competitive series. We know they can be strong. C9 obviously got blasted by 100 Thieves, but they have shown the ability to play at the top of the standings. TL and 100 Thieves, they're looking like favorites, but it's hard to tell who to actually favor, because EG showed up so much more than Cloud9, you know? It's really, really interesting to kind of compare and think about how everyone's perspectives, I think, have shifted so much.
Yeah, like in the lower bracket, Cloud9 going up against Golden Guardians. If you're going Golden Guardians, you're actually feeling pretty good right now. You're like, okay, these guys got whooped. We got this. Over for FlyQuest, you're like, wait a second, the good guys versus the bad guys. This ain't looking so good for the good guys right about now. But up in the top bracket, man, Team Liquid and 100 Thieves, that's one is going to be a series. I cannot wait for that. Team Liquid have just... The quality of play from each of these guys individually is always such at a high level. They're just such a treat to watch.
They absolutely are. So much talent on this entire squad. They take the series 3-2. That was so fun.
That was, if you didn't like that series, you don't like League of Legends. We'll be talking pro to pro with CoreJJ a little later on. But for now, let's join LeTigress on stage with Bjergsen for our Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you, Captain Flowers. We are here for the Verizon post-game interview. I present to you Bjergsen. What's it like playing in front of a crowd for the first time in 2 years?
Oh, it's definitely very different than our usual experience here. I mean, just seeing all these people, so many people in TL merch, the energy as every time I'm walking on stage, people are screaming my name. It feels amazing. Thank you, guys.
I'm sure you can feel that energy, so exhilarating from head to toe. That whole series was pretty insane, though. How did you think it was going to go compared to what we saw?
Well, you know, since the fans are here, we wanted to make the series really exciting, and we wanted to take it to 5 games, and even throw a little bit in the 5th game just to make it extra spicy. Yeah, it was a really close series. I think actually EG came in with some slightly different preparation. I also like that they put Jojo top in game 4, which really takes a lot of balls to lane swap like that. So yeah, it was a really tough series. They had a lot of good level 1s. Like they got really big advantages, I think 2 or 3 out of the 5 games. So there's things we need to really look at, but feels good that we got the win anyway.
Speaking of those level 1s and just some of the scrap that we saw, how aggressive and active do you feel that this series was compared to other recent, playoff series?
I felt like EG, they were hunting me a lot. They were killing me at level 1, ganking me. I think they were doing a lot of good stuff, honestly, and I think they really exposed some of our weaknesses as a team. So EG came out really aggressive in every single game, good level 1s in every single game, and we really need to look at that and learn from it.
Yeah. God. The last time times I've talked to you, it is always after some game where you get focused down at level 1, that's for sure. A lot of pressure there. A lot of the casters and analysts were talking about the mid-jungle duo being so important within this matchup. Did you feel that was the case through and through?
I think, yeah, both. I mean, they were targeting top a lot, and some of the games we managed to get our bot lane really ahead. I mean, you see some games our bot lane just pops off and gets really ahead. I think the mid jungle mattered more so in terms of translating that pressure onto the side lane, and they were translating it to top and getting a lot of leads there. And I think we had more of the comps that want to go into team fighting and buying a little bit of time. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned bot side popping off there. I mean, Hansama had a great game. We saw Santorin earlier. Just a lot of what we expect from Team Liquid, multiple strong members. When it comes to the profile of Team Liquid and what we've seen in playoffs, how do you feel that diversity is playing through when you're going against lane swaps and, you know, all eggs in the Nidalee basket, even in Game 5?
I think we definitely need to adapt a little bit, and I think they kind of knew exactly what we wanted to do, whereas they actually changed up a little bit of what they had been playing. But now we have 2 weeks until we play 100 Thieves. I think that's how the bracket works, but we have a lot of time to reinvent ourselves and pick up new champions and change the way that we play and see the game in a way that is going to be really hard for 100 Thieves to play against, because 2 weeks is a lot of time, and there's a lot of adaptation you can make. So I think the series is really good for kind of our improvement as a team.
Speaking a bit more on that 100 Thieves front, we've heard from Santorin and Hansama in different interviews about the fact that that's the team that was looking good towards the end. That's the one that people kind of have their eyes on as that rising, you know, in this later stage. What about you? How much do you fear what they bring to the table?
How much do I fear them? I don't really fear them a whole lot, but they're just a solid... Okay. I mean, they're just a solid team, and they're kind of showing their previous playoffs form where I think people kind of underestimated them last year, and were just like, this team is just kind of okay, but they're just solid. They're solid at a lot of things. They played together with this roster for a long time. So they just have solid fundamentals of how they want to play as a team. But in the same way, I think the way that they countered C9 or the way that they want to play against us, I think is going to be pretty predictable. And, you know, we'll see how that match sticks out.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are looking forward to it. There's so many Team Liquid fans that were loud throughout the entirety of this series, many calling your name specifically. You're no stranger to that, but now your opportunity to speak directly to them. What do you have to say?
I'm not really a man of too many words, but it just feels amazing to have you guys back. I think we've all been missing it. We've all been talking about it. We were talking about it before we came here, that today's going to be different with you guys, with the fans here. And I think it makes all the difference. I think it means some players play a little bit worse and some players play a little bit better, and that's what makes these games so exciting. And yeah, just thank you guys all for showing up. It was amazing.
Thank you to the fans. Thank you to Bjergsen for the interview. What a series that we witnessed today. Oh my goodness, there is more for us to cover. We will also be hearing from Santorin and Gilhoto in Bud Light League Lounge later, and CoreJJ soon enough. But for now, let's head on over to the analyst desk.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, LeTigress. She's right. We're basically doing the whole world tour of TL players with Bjergsen just now, CoreJJ in a bit, Santorin, Gilhoto joining myself and LeTigress a bit later in the Bud Light League Lounge. So well said, though, by Bjergsen in terms of, I think, what it means to have fans here. Something hits different about League of Legends when it's played in front of a live crowd, when those fans are here along for the ride. And what a treat of a best-of-5 for all of those who are in the stands today, and what a treat to be able to win that first best-of-5 back as a player for Bjergsen in front of a crowd.
Yeah, while EG, it felt like they were going against the current with the fans all on, like, basically with the TL chants happening. Yeah, it felt like TL and, you know, Bjergsen more specifically kind of rode that current. It's the energy that kind of gives you life, and also it can be a little dangerous.
I was going to say, speaking, he did mention how, you know, jokingly, we brought it to 5 games for the fans, give them a long one. We even threw a little bit here in game number 5 to make it interesting. Early kill going over to a Renekton pick definitely looks scary.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to talk about this play. You know, usually as a Renekton Nidalee comp, you get outscaled really, really fast, so you want to make early game plays. But I felt like actually TL responded super well to that previous play where they just pick Sion, you just get all the creeps, and jojopyun also lost 2 waves and missed, so it's actually like a, you know, just positive or even for TL.
I thought, you go for it. Actually.
Oh, I was going to say, like, I think, like, when you have this composition, you absolutely have to go for plays like that. But your execution, so, like, I'm not going to be anti-Renekton again today. Maybe, but with a composition like this, like it gives you such a narrow window of opportunity to take over the game before TL just outskills you completely and you cannot win.
What do you got against crocodiles, huh?
Yeah.
I'll let you think about that as we head on over to Hi and CoreJJ. Hi, standing by for a little pro session with victorious support.
Hello, everyone. I have CoreJJ with us here today. It's been quite a long day for you, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of different games. Some were fun. Some were tilting for some people, I'm sure. But so I have about 5 different clips here that I'm going to play for you here.
Sure.
My very first clip is going to be from game 1 where you guys get Baron. And basically what I want to know is what makes you guys decide to do this Baron? Like, you commit to it pretty hard. Obviously, like, you find... Here, I'll just bring it back so people can see.
Yeah.
So you guys hit the blast plant, you see that Lee Sin shows. Do you guys just know you do that much damage to be able to clear in time? Or like, what's going on in your head here?
So basically what we were talking about is like, now we have enough Baron damage, and then we don't take any damage, like Odin is too tanky. And then we were like actually looking for Baron vision, and then let's see if we can get Baron. And then we just saw the Legion basing. It triggered us to start Baron, because we were sure we can get a Baron before they came back.
Got it. So you wanted to try, see, like you path over there and see if he backs. If he does, you go for the Baron if he does.
Yeah.
Because you guys know you have enough damage.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's awesome, actually, because it's a pretty risky play, obviously, if they come over faster, but this fast decisiveness is a really strong point for your team. So this second clip I hear actually is, it's actually not from your point of view. The camera's messed up, don't worry about that. I don't know if you guys saw how you got killed at level 1 here, but you guys walked past a ward right there. Like you'll see right here, there's a ward, and you guys walk past that. So I'm just showing the enemy team, EG point of view. They're sitting in this bush for like a full minute.
Yeah.
So throughout the 5 games, there's been a ton of different level 1s. How are you guys deciding how to do these level 1s? Is it something in Champion Select, or you load in the game and be like, hey, this is what we're doing?
So this is like more like we react to how they play. So they invade like a little bit top side, and then because they show top side, we try to get some information on enemy left side, like here. And then I was actually thinking about, I think I might, I feel like this is bait.
Oh.
There will be what, I mean, everybody on our team felt maybe there was a ward before they actually invade top side. But I wanted to abuse like jojopyun's like early ward things.
Got it.
So I was a little bit greedy. I didn't use a sweeper, and then we got punished.
Okay, so then for level 1s, you generally try to do it based off of what they're doing in the game.
Yes.
All right, cool. So I actually have a really small and short clip here. I thought this was really cool. Generally, when people try to freeze waves, they pull the creep wave away from the tower. Obviously, you can't do that here because the 2 characters are here, but you still manage to get a freeze off because you use something that is very interesting that I haven't seen before. So I basically want to ask you where you learned this from. I'll fast forward the clip a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I don't know if people saw this, but take a look at what you do here. You punt away the minion. Where did you learn how to do this? It's actually really cool, in my
Is this a game 3?
Yeah, this is game 3.
I learned this at game 3.
Oh, you learned this in game 3?
Yes.
Like, it's like such a minor thing, but I saw that, I'm like, wait, that's actually super genius. Like, I never thought about that.
Like, you know, if you play bot lane, you always have a good teacher and good tutor like right next to you. And then that timing, Hansama said, oh, you can just W the minion. And then at first, for 5 seconds, to be honest, I couldn't understand what he wanted. And then, oh yeah, after it makes sense after thinking about 5 seconds, and then we froze the wave.
So Hansam is a genius.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool. So then this is also game 3. You guys are playing super aggressive bottom lane, and you're about to die here, actually. So I'm wondering, from our point of view, it looked like a really bad death from your guys' POV because you know that the Victor just left mid. You'll see that he just disappeared off the map, or not the Victor, the Ryze. And you guys still play super aggressive. He teleports down here, burns both your Sunmers, and you actually live. However, Hansama goes back in and dies. So I'm just wondering, is there miscommunication here? Does he think Jarvan's closer than he actually is? Because Jarvan's shown all the way back there. So can you tell me about what's happening here? Because this death looked really bad.
You know, we played 5 games. It looks like just one of the int play. And our goal was clear. We had a really huge advantage. We don't want to let them. We don't want to give them a free base or better situation. We wanted to punish. Like we wanted to make sure someone needs to combat, and then we just bought the time. If you want a base, if you want to get a better situation, but I think we crossed the line.
Got it. Okay, cool. And then I have another clip here from, I believe this is game 3 actually as well. And it's basically, you guys have Baron here. I'll play out the clip for you. And you basically do this setup. Can you tell me about your Baron setup? Who's making the calls of like, who's like marking what, who's warding what? Can you just tell me like what comms are like here?
So basically with that, it's only cannon. And then we can actually, with that we can hit the turret because they don't have a good lane clear. So I feel like they don't have a flash for what, like Jinx doesn't have flash for 1 more minute or something. So we can just pressure really hard because Jinx can't stay in here.
We
So
see
the
like a
pressure.
teleport happening down
Yeah.
here. Who saw the teleport first on your team? From
Honestly,
Cannon?
it was really hectic. Oh, TP behind. So I don't know who called it. And then Soren actually reacted really fast. I'm gonna match TP and then 1v1. And then we were slowly, trying to cover Ari. And then at the same time, we were looking for a ton.
Right, so this is super hectic because there's so much happening on right there.
Yes.
But you guys played the team fight super well, actually. You marked the targets you needed to. So that was super impressive. Actually, I just have one final clip here. After number 1, how do you guys feel like you played today as a team? Like you went 5 games. A lot of people were expecting you to do 3 games. And then also, are you excited for Houston? Do you feel like you guys are going to take first there?
I'm definitely really excited to go to Houston. And then, I don't know how people think, but from my experience, I think EG is the best team out of LCS team. So I expected today is gonna be really hard day.
Okay.
And always playing against EG is really fun, to be honest. And then beating them is way more fun too.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. That's all I have for you today here. Thank you for taking the time for doing this to me, and congratulations on the win. We're gonna send you all back to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you so very much, Hi and CoreJJ. Congratulations, well in order there. Confirming what a lot of other people have said for us, and that the 4-seeded EG, from their perspective, a bit more of a threat.
The next few series feels like it's going to be hot. That's going to be good.
Yeah, there's going to be some battles out in the lower bracket to try and get back to Houston for a number of those squads. Now, within that as well, I just wanted to call out, for me, the coolest piece of that whole segment was the minion pun. That is so next level!
That's insane.
That's nuts. And then the fact that he's even humble enough to say, I came from Hans Sama. He's the one with the big brain.
Yeah, I love the setup too. He was like, oh,
when did you learn how to do this? What game was this? All right, game 3. That's what I learned.
He was like, I didn't really understand what he was calling for, and then I was like, oh, okay. I do think, like, speaking of this TL team, though, it does point to how intelligent every single person is on this team, and how every single one of them can step into that role of almost like player coach, and they can still learn so much from each other. That's really cool.
So we're going to add to that because we've already talked to Bjergsen himself. We've talked to CoreJJ. He gave kudos to Hans Sama. There's only a couple people left on the team to talk about. We're going to go to the player of the series. That's none other than Santorin in the jungle. Game number 1, it was that Viego pick. Then from there, it felt like the jungle matchups were kind of really thrown into chaos as compared to yesterday's series, where we had a lot of different looks from both guys out there. So Santorin had a lot to overcome.
Yes, he did. I thought that this was just going to be like a really fiery jungle matchup between both of these guys. Inspire definitely had some great games, and during tough times, I think Santorin really found creative ways to like claw back into games. That was especially looking at game 3. That was especially like game 3 moment, right? So I think it was really well deserved. It was between him and CoreJJ, but made a lot of sense for kind of like how good Santorin is right now for him to be able to win player of the series.
We cannot forget how successful a career this guy has had. Multiple finals appearances, a finals victory in his very first outing, but he's looking to recapture that. Speak, I'm just curious from your perspective, though, looking at a player like Santorin, who's had quite the career in the LCS, like what do you think makes him a great jungler? What about his play separates him from others?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is that he's just super, super consistent. While he doesn't make like a lot of super flashy plays, he is always relevant in the game. So no matter how far he's behind, like you said, he's always, thinking of creative ways to just make the game even or play both his team. And I felt like he showed that a lot, even though some of the situations were super, super difficult for the team to play. He was still, just holding on, always being consistent. And I think that's like the biggest strength of his.
Absolutely. And you compare that to, what was it, Emily, top of day? We talked about him having the lowest jungle proximity of any of the 10 junglers in the LCS.
Just means his ganks are efficient. He just like
there it is.
whizzes
Effective.
in, you know, like the trundle just comes in.
I love. We're gonna start thinking. We're gonna start thinking about that stat differently from now on. You know, everyone's always like, yeah, rank 1. That's what you want to be, not in jungle proximity. Raz, I'm told you have a little State Farm neighborhood tactics prepared for us. Is that correct?
I do.
Hopefully, I didn't just put you on the spot.
No, you made a good call right here.
Okay, good.
Yeah, might as well
wanna
get straight to it.
Get over there.
Time to make the jog.
Start walking.
Boom, boom. Because we had a pretty long series, so we had to choose something that really exemplified the series for me. When it comes to Team Liquid's success, for them, I chose a play out of Game 2. Now, it was a loss for Team Liquid as a whole, but something that they did really well throughout this whole series was the fact that they were just, I would say, creative with a vision that they had. Now, for me, just taking a look at this, as we reset what we're seeing here. Now, one thing to take note of, Team Liquid have full control of the river on the top side of the map. That's just something that evil geniuses understand. They're playing around. That means that Bjergsen, who was in the top side of the map here, pretty sure I can just do this, yes. He's able to clear away pretty deep, and he's been able to do that while Team Liquid has been trying to find angles onto JoJo. But JoJo's been smart about this, and so for the good majority of this, it's just been control for Team Liquid. Evil geniuses look for an angle, because they're just trying to start a fight at this point. They think they can get on towards Santorin, but what I would say has been great about CoreJJ this split, and especially in the series, has been what he does in the fog of war. The creativity of like, hey, if they walk up, I have an angle here. And so while it looks like Evil Geniuses is trying to cheat and trying to find a fight on Santorin, huge play on CoreJJ. And you would think that Evil Geniuses would have an angle here just because of that beautiful MF ulti, but the carries waited out. Bjergsen and Hans Sama find an angle, of course, on towards Vulcan, and they clean up. And so just great from this team, and it makes you now think about the next series coming up ahead versus 100 Thieves. That even if 100 Thieves can get those early game leads, can they keep them? They need to be on their toes. And so that was a beautiful play from CoreJJ.
Absolutely gorgeous.
And I'm looking forward to it. It's not just about CoreJJ. You already said, like, Santorin ended up winning player of the series for this one.
Yep.
And so
Bwipo in the regular
formidable
season,
team.
he's shown us similar things.
Yes.
That Raptor flank that everyone's going to think of, stuff like that. Spica, I'm kind of curious, your experience with players throughout your career in the LCS, either playing with or playing against.
Yeah.
Do you feel like kind of have that extra ounce of creativity? It does feel like some players can find those angles, like a Bwipo, like a CoreJJ. Is there anyone that like almost it frustrates you with how creative they are in the game?
You're putting me on the spot here.
Okay,
I need to.
You want to take a moment?
I need to take a moment for
I
this.
can throw some ideas your way.
Yeah, if you got ideas,
Go
throw
ahead.
them
One
out.
player at the beginning of the split that comes to mind is like River. River was a player that could find a way to get around enemy team
That double
warriors.
poppy flank around the dragon.
Yeah.
It can be
That was
annoying with
gross.
it, right? And
that's
so
a
like
good one.
that's one good example. We already talked about Core. You have anything in mind?
I mean, I think for jungle, for me at least, I felt like this split, Inspire had the most creative pathing.
Yeah.
That's something that comes to mind. He does a lot of things that's different. He does a lot of creative evades and creative pathings that and ganks as well that you just don't expect, right? So I feel like if you're talking about plays like that, he's definitely the player that stands out to me.
That's awesome perspective, especially considering, again, the hype around him as an LEC MVP coming into this league. And maybe we didn't see all of those pieces that we wanted to right out the gate. But now you got EG staring down the number one seeded TL in a 3-2 series and even being called out by that very opponent as the other best team in the league.
Yeah.
That's got to feel good. And we're hoping that EG continues to ramp up as we move through the postseason. Let's go ahead and pull up our Samsung SSD Fast 5 for this week. Again, a reminder that these are only times that come from this week compared to the LCS average.
The LCS average beating out both Bjergsen and JoJo is just really funny to me.
Well, that kind of goes to, what was it, Spica? You made the point about how that early roam top, for example, by JoJo, while effective in getting the kill, he sacked a lot to make that happen.
3 waves.
Yeah, so that's kind of where that's coming from to a degree, I've got to imagine.
No surprise for me in terms of just like jungle, first to 6. Both Closer and Blabber will prioritize themselves in their experience. If they're strong, their team's strong. So like that's gonna be fun, and I hope we get to see a matchup like that again. I think both junglers are insane. we have a lot of damn good junglers in the LCS now.
We got a lot of damn good junglers in the LCS, my friend. Do you feel like this is like the most stacked jungle year for
Yeah, I
you,
mean,
or?
I felt like LCS in terms of just strength by role, I felt like jungle was definitely the strongest.
Okay.
You know, you could just say the jungle ranking, I feel like compared to other roles are just way tighter compared to like, you know, top mid. AD support, I felt like, you know, it's definitely a good thing. You know, always there's a lot of competition, so it forces you to get better as well.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it's just really exciting.
You hear that, Santorin? Junglers are the best.
He's out there. He's out
Don't let that go to your
there.
head, right? Don't let that go to your head. We'll talk to you in just a moment. All right, let's get the bracket up on the screens. Remind everybody what it looks like here in the LCS postseason. It's Team Liquid with a 3-2 victory over Evil Geniuses to move on to face 100 Thieves, who swept Cloud9 just yesterday. Cloud9 falling down to face Golden Guardians next week, along with Evil Geniuses versus FLICKR.
And out of the two teams that got like bumped down to the losers bracket, EG is looking incredibly formidable. Like this game 5, in my opinion, was the most like draft decided game because of how we talked about what that early game composition absolutely has to do. And even then, they will still get outscaled. So it's on you to close the game really quickly. This EG team is looking really, really formidable and a lot more cohesive than they did in season.
And all we got to see is if Cloud9 can get back at it. Remember, they were at the time, before the start of that Super Week, the first place team in the LCS. They dipped a little bit at the end, but now they have time to be able to go through all of the problems.
Now, I've only got you here for one day, so I'm going to put you on the spot one more time.
One more time.
Speak. That bracket, we got Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves.
Which of those two teams is booking their ticket straight to the finals?
Santorin and Galoto's
Oh,
here.
no, hey.
I'm gonna
start the mental warfare early. You can get in his head for Summer Split right now, you know?
Closer's pretty good. I don't
Like
know.
they're right there. I mean, Closer's pretty good. LGD is looking good. You know, they 3-0 C9. TL took it to 5 games.
See?
You know, in my honest opinion, this is a hard one.
It is
I'm gonna go with TL. I'm gonna go with TL.
Okay, if you're going TL there, does 100 Thieves then run the lower bracket and re-meet them for the finals, or is it going to be that EG
I feel like
or
I
Cloud9?
feel like 100 Thieves.
You think it's 100?
Again, yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
there you
that's
go.
a vote. I like
Then we
that
get a little
idea.
teaser with that winners
There we
bracket
go.
final before we get to the grand final in Houston. Now, with their win today, we'll be seeing Team Liquid alongside 100 Thieves and one yet to be determined team in Houston for our spring finals weekend. Those dates are April 23rd and the 24th. Those tickets can be found on Ticketmaster, or you can head over to lulesports.com for more info. Make sure you go snap them up because things sell out quickly. I want to take one final moment to invite you all to join us in the Bud Light League Lounge with myself, LeTigress, and we'll be teaming up with Santorin and Gohoto for some beer pong. Catch that on twitch.tv/BudLight right after the highlights, or you can go ahead and stay on this channel and wait for the raid. Speaker, you're a boss. Thank you so much, my friend.
you go.
From everything, man.
I
I
had a
apologize
good
on
time.
behalf of
I
had a
Marcy
good time.
for being
You
a
were
big
great.
old jerk face
Yeah,
to you.
that was
earlier,
rough, man.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You weathered that storm well. I'm proud of you. All right, that's it for us here on this first weekend of postseason play. Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of myself, the casters, the entire remote broadcast crew, thank you for watching. We'll catch you next week for more LCS playoffs. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, and be good to each other. Good night.
Close.
One day.
Not
You're
really.
gonna get it. You're gonna get it.
What are you trying to hit?
She's trying to hit the
The
camera
camera.
every time.
Yeah.
See.
Take a big ol' whiff. It smells like fans are back, my friend.
God, man, it is so good. The energy in the building is just unreal.
The rest of TL's just able to keep EG at bay. Santorin looking to reset. He's playing a collie better than JoJo was. Triple kill over to Santorin. Impact can't do a thing. And TL take the Baron and mop him up. All right, let's rock and roll. Game number 2.
You're starting
Ooh.
to bot.
Bwipo just having a good time up here against
Bwipo's gonna get him.
Impact.
He's gonna get him.
Impact gets first blooded 2 minutes and 26 seconds into the game.
Fight them, I need KD. Kill them, Alcer. CoreJJ, yes, Wash. Kill the Bwipo as well, Bwipo as well. We gotta get the bad guys. Enjoy the fans when they scream, by the way. Enjoy the fans when they cheer for us. Just have a good time. GG. Nice. Good shit. Nice.
Game number 1 was a beatdown. Game number 2 was EG. All right, they're sitting up straight in the chair now. They're going after Hansama. He's down to a third, but they can't quite kill him. And now Team Liquid ready for the punch back. Bjergsen is godlike as Hans Sama can rejoin the fray. Make it a double, make it a triple. You don't mess with the GOAT, it's Bjergsen, baby.
I mean, Hans is actually choking.
Yeah, I think they're top 80 choking so much. I can feel it.
Danny's ready to join up here in the fight. Hans Sama going to be soaking a lot of damage. Hans Sama's taken out. CoreJJ's taken out. Impact's getting away. And Santorin will not get him. It's a quadra kill.
People love free stuff.
Everybody loves free stuff, and everybody loves Game 5. I am so glad that both teams brought it here today and have gone the distance in this series. Team Liquid continuing to move forward. Bwipo finds a knockup 1-2, and Santorin's ready to go in for his first reset. Danny's first to die. Impact tries to find Hans Sama, but try as he might, Team Liquid will crush Evil Geniuses.